Dear friends, English literature, Elizabethan and Jacobean drama, Balpony by Ben Jonson, brief questions with answers, brief questions 1 to 73. Question 1. Who was Ben Jonson? Answer. Ben Jonson was an English playwright. He became the first unofficial poet laureate in 1616 when he was granted a pension by James I. He died 6 August 1637. Question 2. What is the historical significance of Ben Jonson? Answer. Ben Jonson was a Renaissance poet, playwright, actor, and contemporary of William Shakespeare. He wrote satires exposing the flaws and drawing humor to mankind and politics. His poetry was that of the Cavalier style, and he was known as the father of Cavalier poets such as Sir John Suckling and Robert Herrick. Question 3. When was Jonson born? Answer. Ben Jonson was born around June 11, 1572, the posthumous son of a clergyman. Question 4. Where was Jonson educated? Answer. He was educated at Westminster School by the great classical scholar William Camden. Question 5. When did Jonson join the theatrical company of Philip Henslowe? Answer. Jonson joined the theatrical company of Philip Henslowe in London as an actor and playwright on or before 1597, when he is identified in the papers of Henslowe. Question 6. Why was Jonson imprisoned in 1597? Answer. In 1597, he was imprisoned in the Fleet Prison for his involvement in a satire entitled The Isle of Dogs. Question 7. When did Jonson kill Gabriel Spencer? Answer. In 1598, Jonson killed a fellow actor, Gabriel Spencer, in a duel in the fields at Shoreditch and was tried at Old Bailey for murder. Question 8. When did Jonson begin to write masques? Answer. In 1605, Jonson began to write masques for the entertainment of the court. Question 9. When was Jonson appointed City Chronologer of London? Answer. Jonson was appointed City Chronologer of London in 1628. Question 10. When did Jonson die? Answer. Jonson died on August 16, 1637, and he was buried in the Westminster Abbey with an inscription recording perhaps the original spelling of his name, O Rare Ben Jonson. Question 11. What is Balpony? Answer. Balpony is a satiric comedy by Ben Jonson. Question 12. What is the subtitle of the play Balpony? Answer. The subtitle of the play is The Fox. Question 13. When was Balpony produced? Answer. Balpony was first produced in 1606. Question 14. What elements does Balpony contain? Answer. Balpony contains the elements of city comedy, black comedy, and beast comedy. Question 15. When was Balpony published? Answer. Balpony was published first in 1607 as a quarto and then in 1616 as part of Jonson's collected works. Question 16. What is prologue? Answer. Prologue is an introductory part of a book that introduces the characters and the story. Question 17. What type of comedy is Balpony? Answer. Balpony is a comedy of humors. Question 18. What lends Balpony the character of a fable? Answer. All the main characters are explicitly associated with an animal, the fox, the raven, the crow, etc., who lends the play character of a fable. Question 19. Who is Balpony? Answer. Balpony is a magnifico or nobleman of Venice. He is a con artist who feigns illness to attract legacy hunters. He embodies greed and obsesses over gold. His love of watching others, greed, and flattery tends towards voyeurism. Question 22. Why does Balpony feign illness? Answer. Balpony feigns illness to attract legacy hunters. Question 22. What does Balpony embody? Answer. Balpony embodies greed and obsesses over gold. His love of watching others, greed, and flattery tends towards voyeurism. Question 22. Who is Mosca? Answer. Mosca is the parasite of Balpony. He is brothersome, obsequious, and conniving. Though he is lower than Volpone in birth, Mosca is effectively the master of this game. Question 23. Who plays the legacy hunters against each other? Answer. Mosca plays the legacy hunters against each other. Question 24. Who is Voltor? Answer. Voltor is an advocate or lawyers or lawyer. He is one of the legacy hunters. Question 25. Why, according to Mosca, Voltor is appointed as the sole heir of Volpone? Answer. Mosca tells Voltor that he will be the heir because Volpone admires lawyers. Question 26. Why does Mosca single out Voltor for punishment? As Mosca singles him out for punishment because of his exceptional performance in the defense of Volpone. Question 27. What ultimately ruins both Volpone and Mosca? Answer. It is Voltor's confession that ultimately ruins Volpone and Mosca. Question 28. Who is Corbuccio? Answer. Corbuccio is an old gentleman. He is one of the legacy hunters. Question 29. Who is Corbino? Answer. Corbino is a merchant by profession. He is one of the legacy hunters. Question 30. Who are avocatory? Answer. Avocatory are the four magistrates or the judges from the scrutinio. Question 30. Who is the most credulous of the legacy hunters? Answer. Corbino is the most credulous of the legacy hunters. Question 31. What type of person are the avocatory? Answer. The avocatory are dangerously gullible. Question 32. Who is the notario? Answer. The notario is the register or the officer of the scrutinio. The notario acts something like a bailiff would in a modern court of law. He summons witness, swears them in, and in general runs errands for the avocatory. Question 33. Who are the members of Volpone's house? Answer. Nano, Castron, and Androgino are the members of Volpone's house. Question 34. Who is Nano? Answer. Nano is a dwarf. He is one of the three servants whom Volpone keeps for entertainment. Question 35. Who is Castron? Answer. Castron is an eunuch. He is one of the three servants from whom Volpone keeps for entertainment, who are also allegedly his illegitimate children. Question 36. Who is Androgino? Answer. Androgino is a hermaphrodite. He is one of the three servants whom Volpone keeps for entertainment, who are also allegedly his illegitimate children. Question 37. Who are Sir Politic would-be? Answer. Sir Politic would-be is a knight. He is a traveler from England who prides himself on knowing the laws of a gentleman. He is a know-it-all who in fact knows not very much at all. Question 38. Who is Peregrine? Answer. Peregrine is a gentleman traveler like Sir Politic. Peregrine is a visitor from England who thus serves to connect the storyline to Johnson's home country. Question 39. Who is Bonerio? Answer. Bonerio is a young gentleman, son of Corbuccio. Bonerio is upstanding, novel, and unfortunately gullible. Question 40. What makes Bonerio one of the more righteous characters in Volpone? Answer. His honesty and his desire to do right make him one of the more righteous characters in the play. Question 41. Who is Lady Would-be? Answer. Lady Would-be is the knight's wife. She is the garrulous, vain, and jealous companion of Sir Politic. Question 42. Why did Lady Would-be do to be Volpone's heir? Answer. Mosca tells us that she offered him her body in order to be Volpone's heir. Question 43. Who is Celia? Answer: Celia is the wife of the merchant Corvino. Question 44. Who are the commendatory? Answer: the commendatory are the officers. They are the court officers who detain Corvino, Boltor, Mosca, and Volpone once their punishments have been handed down. Question 45. Why does Volpone disguise himself as a commendatory? Answer: Volpone disguises himself as a commendatory in order to taunt Corvino, and Boltor in the streets. Question 46. Who are the marketori? Answer: the marketori are the three merchants. Their peregrines accomplices with the practical joke he plays on sharp politic. Question 47. What do the marketori pretend? Answer: they pretend to be representatives of the Venetian state who have come to apprehend Tsar politic. Question 48. Who is servitori? Answer: the servitori is a servant. Question 49. Who are Grege? Answer: the Grege are the crowd who gather in the public square around Volpone when he pretends to be a mountebank. Question 50. Who are the good characters in Volpone? Answer: Bonario and Celia are the only good characters in Volpone. Question 51. What is an epistle? An epistle is a poem addressed to a patron, friend, or family member, thus a kind letter in verse. Question 52. To whom Volpone is dedicated? Answer: Volpone is dedicated to the universities of Oxford and Cambridge. Question 53. To which university does Jonson first dedicate his play Volpone? Answer: Jonson first dedicated the play to Oxford University. Question 54. Which is the second university that Jonson dedicates his play to? Answer: the second university that Jonson dedicates his play is Cambridge University. Question 55. What does Jonson say is the reason why he wants to write a play? Answer: he wants to write a play because he wants to create something enjoyable. Question 56. What literary technique does Jonson use to write the opening of the play? Answer: the literary technique Jonson uses to write the opening of the play is a poem. Question 57. What is an acrostic? Answer: an acrostic is a poem in which the particular letters in each line, usually the first letters, can be read downwards to form a word or words. Question 58. What type of acrostic does Jonson employ in his prologue? Answer: Jonson uses an acrostic poem to lay out the entire plot of his play. Each of the 7 lines of the poem starts with one of the letters in Volpone's name, spelling it out for the reader. Question 59. Who are the most equal sisters? Answer: to Ben Jonson, Oxford University and Cambridge University are the most equal sisters. Question 60. How does Jonson define a good poet? Answer: Jonson defines a good poet as an inspiring, well-mannered teacher of ethics. Question 61. Where does the story of Volpone take place? Answer: the story takes place in Venice, Italy. It starts out in Volpone's house. Question 62. How does Volpone worship gold at the beginning of the play? Answer: at the very beginning of the play, Volpone worships gold as his god. Question 63. Which does Volpone regard as his saint? Answer: the place where Volpone keeps his gold is a shrine to him, and the gold to him is the saint. Question 64. Which does Volpone address as the son of the sun? Answer: he addresses gold as the son of the sun and says that the sun, gold, is brighter than the father, that is sun. Question 65. Which, according to Volpone, can turn hell into heaven? Answer: according to Volpone, in the company of gold can be transmitted hell into heaven. Question 66. Why doesn't Volpone want to compare gold to Venus? Answer: Volpone does not want to compare gold to Venus Venus has only one child, Cupid. To Balponi, gold should be compared to a goddess who has 20,000 children like Cupid. Question 67. Why, according to Balponi, are riches more valuable than spiritual values? Answer. According to Balponi, riches are more valuable than spiritual values because riches have the power to buy souls. Question 68. What type of occupations does Balponi hate? Answer. Balponi does not like the ordinary methods of earning money such as trade, agriculture, industry, investment, money lending, etc. Question 69. Letting the cherry knock against their lips. What does the cherry stand for? Answer. Here, cherry stands for the legacy wealth of Balponi, which the legacy hunters long for. Question 70. What does Balponi's name mean in Italian? Answer. Balponi's name means fox in Italian. Question 71. From what animal does the play Balponi take its name? Answer. The play Balponi takes its name from the animal called fox. Question 72. Who is the servant of Balponi? Answer. Mosca is the servant of Balponi. Question 73. What does Mosca's name mean? Answer. Mosca's name means the fly. Thank you friends for watching my video.